Torah portion Shelach. We are in the fourth portion. Okay, we're in chapter 14, verse 26. We have booklets over here you can follow. Today's learning is in honor of the 51st Yortzeit of Moshe ben Shlomi Yaakov, our dear Jack's father. Is Neshama having Aliyah? L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim v'bracha. Okay. Idaber Hashem al Moshe ve'al Aaron leimor, and Hashem spoke to Moshe and Aaron, saying, Ad Mosai, how till when? La'eda hara, to this evil congregation, hazois, this evil congregation, asher heima malinim alai, that they are complaining against me. As Talunas b'nei Israel, the complaints of the children of Israel, asher heima malinim, that they are complaining, alai shamaiti, I have heard. So these are the spies that came back with a bad report, or a conclusive report, which they were only sent to give. Do you want to pass the booklets to others? Okay, pass the booklets. You can follow. And they and gave conclusions that they were not asked for. The Jewish people, lacking in faith, followed suit, and now this is the further consequence. God has forgiven them, but they've lost the capacity to be the ones who are going to go into the land of Israel, as we will see. 27 in Rashi, La'edara, this evil assembly. Elam Aragim, that refers to the spies. Mikan, La'eda Shehi Asora. From here we learn that an assembly denotes 10. By the way, from here we learn that a minyan is 10. La'eda Haran, and it also says elsewhere the word Eda, and here means 10. There it's referring to the divine presence of God. So you have a minyan with 10. This is where we learned out from. Asher heima malimim, they provoke and complain, has been Israel alai. Now there's the 10, they're the evil ones, and they provoked the Jewish people, the Israelites, to complain against them.
So, Rabbi, I have a little question. Why is God referring to the congregation as being evil? As when in a sense, all they did was complain. I mean, I've complained for years about things. Does that make me evil?
So, Shimon, you know what? Please follow what we're learning, because we just said very clearly that the evil was the 10 spies. We just read that from Rashi.
I understand that, but
so they're evil because they had because they were evil, and they're in what they did. They went against Moshe. They went against what they were sent out to do, and that's evil. If you were sent, if you were sent by your mother to buy milk and you went and bought candy for yourself, so that's wrong. That's
not what they did.
I know.
What they did is they went out and they bought milk, except that they bought candies also.
No. They went against what they were told to do, and they did it with evil intent. They did it with evil intent means not to fulfill the mission that you were sent for. You fulfill your own personal mission, right? And your own personal desire. That's evil intent, right? In other words, evil means you're straying off. They strayed off, right? They had a mission to fulfill, and they didn't fulfill their mission. Right? And that was the people that they brought lack of faith, but that's the people. Esteluna has been Israel, the complaints of the children of Israel, Hema, which they, Hamaraglim, the spies, Malinim, Oisamalai, that they provoke and complain against me, Shamaiti, I have heard. Right? Now, in other words, God's understanding there's a distinction between the spies and the people. The people lacked faith, as we learned yesterday, and we learned this morning in the class. And they lacked faith. But the spies who went in, when they were great men, they understood that they had a mission to fulfill, and they went against the mission. That's evil. Right? Imagine the Lubavitcher Rebbe tells you to do something, and you do your own thing. You don't listen to what he said. You know what? That's evil. What did I do exactly? All I did was give a conclusion that we can't, no. And that's all. What's evil about it is that you provoke others. It's one thing that you do something and it's between you and God. But when you provoke others, that's what defines it. I maybe that's actually the more precise explanation, is that you provoke others, and that's what the verse is coming to say. That's what makes it evil. You hear that, Shimon Leib? Yeah. In other words, it's one thing that you have that you kind of like went off the path and didn't do what you're supposed to, but it's another that now you come in front of the leader who told you what to do, and in front of him, you're provoking the other people that they should have misgivings like you do. That's evil. Does that make clear? In other words, if sometimes I have people that come up to me and they have a complaint to make, they come up to me and they say that. That's fine. But sometimes what they do is they just say publicly. They say it publicly, then what are they doing? They're provoking others, that others should, oh yeah, that's evil already. That makes sense, Shimon Leib? Thank you for your question. Now you were able to bring out a deeper understanding of what's going on here. Emor aleim, say to them, God is saying, Chai ani, as I live, Neum Hashem speaks God, says God. Im loikasher dibartem ba'aznei kenes lachem. If not, as you have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you. What does that mean? Let's see Rashi. Chai ani, as I live, lashon shvua. That's an expression of an oath. Im loikenes. God said, if I shall not do so, kiviyachol, as if it were possible, ani chai, I am not. Ani chai, I'm not alive. In other words, just as I'm alive, right? Obviously, I'm not alive. So will be what I'm going to do. Be just the same thing. Will be, the what I shall do. As you have spoken, should be gashmi men, as you've asked me, or only if we have died in this wilderness. And what are the Jewish people constantly complaining to God? What did they say? What did they say? Yeah, or die here in the desert, right? Okay, you know what? What you want, you're going to get. Yeah. In this desert, your corpse will fall. And the entire number, and the entire pikudechem, the entire count of your number, from 20 years and up, because you have complained against me. Others, all those from 20 and up are going to die now in the desert. Rashi, 29. All of your counted ones in any of your numberings, kol hanimna, whoever has been counted, l'chol mispar, for any tally sha'atem nimnim, which you counted, keep going. Lotzeis, Litzova, those who go out to the army, Lase Shkolim, those who gave the half a shekel, Cholim, all those that were counted, L'choloisam Misporis, for all of those senses, Yamusu, they're going to die. Ve'elehim, and these are them. Miben Esrim Shana, those who are counted from 20 years and up. Lahotzi Shifta Shel Levi, which is the exclusion of the tribe of Levi. Shein Pekudeim Miben Esrim, because they were not counted from 20. What age were they counted? 1 month, exactly. So they were excluded.
Basically, what he's really saying is that everybody in the congregation of Israel, all hundreds of thousands of people, or men in this case, believed what the spies came back, they believed the report. Because everybody was condemned,
Except for the tribe of Levi.
except for a few,
Right.
and for the young.
And for under 20, yes. Exactly.
Everyone, so basically,
Yeah.
God realized, and even though they may not have said anything, but he realized, because he sees what's in your heart.
Right, exactly.
It's in your soul.
Exactly. So even if they didn't express it, maybe, all verbally, maybe they didn't. Maybe, that we don't know exactly that I mean, it does say Bnei Israel. Well, we did learn. Well, one second. We did learn yesterday, right? That and the day before that the people, the Bnei Israel, it says that they didn't, have faith, and says that God will not be able to overcome the nations of Canaan. So it did say in a blanket statement. Now, what does that mean exactly? That everybody verbalize it? Obviously, like you said, Shimon Leib, there are different levels. Some were 10 points against. Some people maybe were only 3 points against, right? But they were all part and parcel of feeling that, what, we can't go and do this. We can't go into Canaan in battle. It's not going to work. So yeah, in that respect, it's all of them. Huh?
They all had doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either at various
different levels. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Lamed. Ki atem tavoyu el haaretz, because you're going to come to the land. Asher nasosi is yodi, that I have raised my hand, l'shakin eschem, to make you settle there. Ki im kolei ben yefuna. So yeah, actually, it's interesting. When you read the words, it says that you will come to the land, but it means not, that you're not going to come to the land. You're not coming to the land except for Kaleb ben Yefuna and Yeshua ben Nun. Those are the only two exceptions. Tapchem asher amartem lavaz. As for your infants, who you said that they will be as spoils, and I will bring them. V'yodu is Aretz Hashem astem ba, and they're gonna know the land that you have despised. As your children, meaning under 20, they're going to come to the land that you have despised. But as for you, your corpse is going to fall in the desert. Rashi, pigrechem atem, but your carcasses, atem should be understood, kitargumoy, yours. Lefi shediber, since the preceding verse is spoken al abonim, about the children, that they're going to go into the land, and our verse wishes to say that you're going to die. This wording applies here, referring to that you. Yeah, David's coffee. Okay. Uvenechem, and your children, royim b'midbar, they're going to wander in the desert. Royim is to wander. Arbaim shana, 40 years. Benasu is news seichem, and they will bear this news seichem. Your he translates here defect. Okay. Until the last corpse is going to fall in the desert. Let's see, Rashi. Arboim Shana, 40 years. Not one of them was doomed to die in the wilderness, died. Someone can get the front door. Front door, can you get it? Thank you. Pachas mi ben shishim. Less than 60 years of age. That's why there was a 40-year decree. Because those who are 20 years, that by the time they become sisim, when they come to the age of 60, Shana Rishona, the first year was okay, yeah, thank you. The first year was included in the 40. Even though it preceded the sending of the spies, because from the time that they made the golden calf, also this decree came up in thought. So what's going on over here? We're saying 40 years, but is it really 40 years? We're saying that it's a decree of 40 years that they're going to be in the desert. It's not 40 years from this point because we're in the second year now. Yeah. So it's 38 and a half years. 38 and a half, well, let's say it's 38 plus years, right? So it's 39, if you will, at the most. So where is it 40? It's 40 from the Cheta Egel, from the sit in the golden calf. That's 40 years. But then why are you counting from now? Because God already had the decree in mind, because all of the Jewish people, except for the tribe of Levi, sinned then too, right? They all were participated on some level in the sin of the golden calf. So God already had in mind this decree. When did he held off until this time? So 40 years is going back to that time when the original thought of this decree would be affected. But he waited to carry it out until it would be full measure would be fulfilled of their lack of faith. That's why, what does it say? What did we say yesterday? God said to Moshe, this is 10 times already that they've already tested me. What did they test me? And a lack of faith in me. Right? And where was the first time they tested him in a lack of faith? Folks? No. Golden, well, actually at the sea would be, the sea, the splitting of the sea would be the first, but then the golden calf was already the or second, was the like the fourth. With the fourth.
God even before the what do you call it? No, even before they left, they doubted that God could take them out even. At the place, even at the place, they were.
Oh, okay, but they didn't go out. The ones who came out didn't doubt. No, those who doubted, they died in the ninth plague, right? But those who came out were not of doubt.
They didn't give them the scroll. Remember?
The what?
Yeah, no, yeah, but that's 1 second, that's a rightful complaint. That's not held against them. We don't see that that's held against them, right? On the contrary, Moshe used that against God, right? Moshe used that against God. It's not against them. This is the implication of what is said, on the day that I made my accounting, in the instant of the spies, that I shall bring their sin to account against them. Here too it says, that they will bear your iniquities. It's in plural. Why? What do you mean iniquities? What iniquities? This is one iniquity they did here. Why is it in plural? Because there's two iniquities. Shel Egel, that of the golden calf, and Shel Luna, and this complaint that was provoked by the spies. Got it? further in this Rashi, v'chishev lahem b'minyan chayehem, and God reckoned this in a calculation of their lifetimes. Miktsas shana, that part of a year, kikula is like an entire year, right? In other words, it wasn't a full 40 years. Part of a year is a full year. When they entered in the 60th year, right? Those who were 20 years, they died as a result of the decree. In other words, they could have died when they were 59 and a half, but they were in their 60th year. That's the point, right? That we're done with. That we're done with. We said 40 years now, right? That we're done with. This should be understood Targuma according to Unkeles, Kablun Yas Chave Chain, that they shall bear your iniquity. They shall bear your iniquity. Okay. We are now verse 34. But Mispar Hayamim, according to the count of days, Asher Tartem, that you scouted out Esa'aretz, the land, Arba'im Yoim, right, which is 40 days, Yoim Lashana, a day for a year. Yoim Lashana, a day for a year. Tisu Safanei Sechem, you shall bear your iniquity, your sin. Arba'im Shana, 40 years. Vidaitim Es Tenuasi, and you will know my Tenuasi. Okay, right? Which Rashi is going to tell us, what does that mean? What does it mean here, Tenuasi? So Rashi in 34, he says, Tenuasi, you're parting from me. That you removed your heart from following me. Tenua Lashon Hasara. The word tenua denotes removal. That her father removed her. We'll see that comes later. We'll see that. Okay. So you removed your heart from following me. So the spies, they went 40 days to spy out the land. So it'll be a day for a year. It'll be 40 years that you will die out in the desert. Yeah? We're good? 35. Ani Hashem, I am God. Dibarti, have spoken. Im loy zois, if I will not do this, l'chola eda hara hazois, to this entire evil congregation, hanoyadim alai, that are against me, that like assembled, means assembled upon me, which that's literally what it means, right? In context, it means against me. But midbar hazeh yitamu v'sham yamusu. In this desert, they will be their end, and here they will die there. Okay, that's the people. That's the congregation. Now we're going to go to the spies. The anashim, and as for the men, Asher Shelach Moshe, that Moshe has sent, Lasser, to scout out Esa'aretz, the land, v'yashuvu, and they returned v'yalinu alav, and they complained about it. Huh? Alav. Well, that's not what those words mean. I'm trying to teach you the Hebrew, okay? Right? You'll see in a moment what it means to spread, okay? As kola eda, to the entire congregation, right? That they complained about the land, right? To the entire congregation, lahoitzi, to spread, diba, slanderous, al-haris, slanderous report on the land. Right? Diba actually means a report. Well, not I mean, gossip. We'll see Rashi. Okay. 36 rather. They returned and they provoked the entire assembly to complain against me. When they returned from spying out the land, Herimu Olav is Kolaida. They instigated the entire assembly against me. Lahitzas diba, by bringing forth a report. Diba is like a report, meaning an evil report. Those people, the Yamusa, die. Kol Hitzas diba, every use of expression bringing forth a report, lashon chinuch dvarim, means a training of a language. Shemalkichim lashonim la'adam, that they teach. Yeah, in others they direct their tongue towards a person. Ledaber boy, to speak to him, like making the lips of those who slumber speak. The word diba, right, could be for good or for bad, right? The word diba it means you're, in other words, you're very precise, very calculated in what you are expressing to people to sway them for good or for bad. Right? That's why it says over there they brought forth an evil report about the land. For there is diba that can be favorable. But in this instance, it wasn't, right? He's bringing out the word diba, which is in the verse, means to give a report that has been thought out, calculated, and expressed specifically in a specific manner. And in this instance, it was an evil report. Rashi, diba, in Old French, parlediz. Is that good old French? Menachem Hillel, is that good French? Is that good old French? Parlediz. So, the Yamusu, and they will die, Hanoshim, these, the men, the spies and others, the 10 of them, that brought out an evil report about the land, with a plague before God. They're not going to, the other ones are going to die over 40 years. They're going to die now. 37. With that death, which is appropriate for them, mida keneged mida, measure for measure. They sinned with their tongue. So their tongue stretched to their navels. And worms came out of their tongues. And entered in their navels. That's why it says, in a plague, which has a bamagefa. In a plague, meaning in the plague, not in a plague. And that's what it means before God, but and that which is appropriate for them, which is according to the attributes of God, that He measures, measure for measure. In other words, what they did, that's what will be done to them, right? They sin with their tongue, so they get punished with their tongue. But Yeshua ben Nun, however, Yeshua, the son of Nun, V'Kalev ben Yefuneh, Kalev, the son of Yefuneh, Chayu, Min HaNashim, they lived from those men, Hahem, those men, Ha'hilchim Atzur Tzar, to when to scout out the land. Rashi in 38, Yeshua V'Kalev Chayu, Yeshua and Kalev, they lived. What is it coming to tell us that they lived from among those men? I mean, obviously, if they lived means, and we know that they died, the other ones. So, what is the emphasis over here? It's kind of redundant. But this comes to teach us that Yeshua and Kalev, they took Chalkam Shel Meraglim, the portions of the spies, Ba'aretz, in the land of Israel, and they stood in their place of them for life. So, right, in other words, their portion in the land of Israel became the portion of Yeshua and Kalev, and they lived on the land, meaning, yeah. Huh? Sorry? And like, oh, you mean, oh, well, one of the parts that they got was Kalev got to Hebron, right? And Moshe spoke these things, El Kol Bnei Israel, to the entire children of Israel. V'yisablu ha'amoed, and the people mourned greatly. Yashkima b'boker, and they got up in the morning. V'yalu el Reish Har, and they went to the top of the mountain. Lamor, saying, the people now, Hinenu, behold, we are ready. Valinu elamokom, and we will go up to the place of Shamar Hashem, that Hashem said, Ki chatanu, because we have sinned. Oh, we recognize we did something wrong here, and we're ready to go. We're ready to march. We're ready to go to Israel. Al Reish Har, to the mountaintop, Hu Derech Ha'elah, which is a route which ascends Eretz Yisrael to the land of Israel. Hinenu alim v'alinu elamakom. We are ready to ascend. We shall ascend to the place. Right, Eretz Yisrael, to the land of Israel. Asher Amar Hashem, that Hashem has spoken, literally that which Hashem has said. L'sita lanu, to give it to us. Sham na'aleh, there we will ascend. Ki chatanu, Asher Amarnu, because of our having said, Halotayv lanu shu mitzrayim, that we said it's better that we should go back to Egypt. We sinned by saying that. So they're taking it back. They feel bad. Trying to do tshuva. Right? So the tshuva was okay. But the action was not okay. And Moshe responded to them, Lama zeh atem ivrim. Why are you transgressing al pi Hashem, according to the mouth of God? And it will not succeed. That which you're trying to ascend and go, on top of the mountain to go back to Eretz Yisrael, to go towards Eretz Yisrael, you're not going to be successful. Al talu, don't go up. Ki ein Hashem b'kirbechem, because God's not with you. And this way you shall not be beaten by your enemies. If you're going to go, you're going to be beaten by your enemies because God's not with you. Why is God not with you? Because you didn't have faith in him that he could perform miracles for you, right? 10 times you didn't have faith, as God had said in yesterday's teachings, as we learned, right? In other words, he's forgiven you, but now you have lost the opportunity to be God's messengers, to go into the land of Israel, because you lacked so often. Because the Amaleks and the Canaanites are there before you, and you will fall by the sword if you go and try to take the land, because God's not with you, and you'll fall by the sword to them. Because you have turned away from Hashem, Hashem will not be with you. Because you have turned away. In other words, Rashi says, in other words, this is what's going to happen to you because you turned away from God, and therefore God's not going to be with you, and you're going to lose. Why do Jews win? Why do we win? Why do we defeat Hamas? Only because God's with us. So we have to recognize that. God is with us, and that's the only reason why we win. Boy, I hope everybody's learning this, and every Jew's got to learn this and take this message home clearly with them. Yeah, the Pilul Alais or Shahar, they defiantly ascended to the top of the mountain. The Arim Bris Hashem, and but the covenant of the Ark of the Covenant, Bris Hashem, Umaish Eloi Moshe B'Kerev HaMachane, but the Ark of the Covenant of Hashem and Moshe did not move from the camp. Rashi in 44. Yeah, and they were defiant. Lashon Chayzik, this denotes strength. V'chein uplu, strongly defiant. Hine upla, behold. Old French, Hongrie, Hongres. Is that good old French? Lashon Azaz is an expression of insolence. V'chein Eifel Bastion, the daughters of Zion, tower of strength. Eifel is Avacham. Midrash, Tanchum, and Mifasher. So that's according the simple meaning. The Midrash explains this word, Lashon Oifel, darkness. Holchu Chashechem, they went in darkness, Shaloi B'Reshus, meaning without permission, without the light of the divine guidance. 45. V'yerid Amaleki v'Kananiya Yeshbahara hu v'Yakum Yachtum ad Charma. And the Amalekis and the Canaanites who lived on the mountain, they came down and smote them, crushed them, and pursued them until Chorma. Rashi v'Yachtum, they pounded them, they crushed them. Kamei v'ach the ekos oisam tochen, I pounded and grinded them. Maka acher maka, blow after blow. Ad acharma, until their annihilation. Shema Malkum Nikra, the Shema Mora, the name of the place is the name of the event that took place there. In other words, that they were annihilated. Oy, not good. Okay, we continue now in chapter 15, verse number 1. Let's go quickly so we could finish up here. And Hashem spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, Marta Aleim, and say to them, it's when you come to the land of your dwelling, that I'm giving to you, here he's informing them that they're going to enter the land, right? Yeah, they just got defeated. So now they're really down in spirit, right? There's a decree against them. They're down in spirit. They just got whipped. God says, "Oh no, don't worry. You're going into the land, right? And you shall make offerings to God of a burnt offering, a zevach, a sacrifice, lefela neder, for all of the expressions of vows that you made on the dava or voluntary offerings, or in your festivals, that you will make a pleasant fragrance Hashem for God, from your cattle and from your sheep." Okay, David, we're in verse number 3. Okay. Nasisem, Isha, you should perform a fire offering. There's not a commandment. Ella, you will come there. It will come on your heart. Isha Hashem, to do a fire offering service to God, which is pleasing fragrance. A source of contentment for me. By articulating a vow or a free will offering. Or you will perform a fire offering service for the obligations of your festivals. You're obligated to perform, but on the festival. In other words, it's not a command, but when you're going to go. So look what happened. The Jewish people, right? They didn't give a joy to God, obviously, for what they did, right? But what is God saying? You're going to give me joy. You're going into the land. You're going to give me joy. You're going to bring offerings. You're going to give me. So, you just got, pronounced that the 20-year-olds and up are going to die. Okay. Doesn't mean you're not going into the land. In other words, you may not be going into the land, but collectively the Jewish people are going to go. Right? No, well, that's how it's happening over here. Let's follow carefully. Right? That's not what we just said. You blew it. We just said here the opposite. You're going to go into the land. You're going to bring me a fragrance that's going to be a pleasant fragrance and something that I'm going to be content with, God is saying. I'm not content with what happened now, but I know the future you will be content. I will be content. That's the point that we just said. Right, David? Yeah, Menachem Hillel? Is that clear? Everybody? It's clear? I know, but let's learn what we're learning. Why are you saying something that's not the point here? It's the opposite point. Okay, because let's put on our blinkers that we're only doing one thing and we're learning what we're learning and not after. Don't go learn something after. Okay? And the one who offers will bring his sacrifice is offering to God. Mincha seiles, we will give a meal offering of fine flour, isarein, that is a tenth of isarein, a little bit of hin shemen, mixed together with a quarter of a hin of oil. Rashi and 4. Vikriva makriv, the one who brings in the offerings Hashem shall bring. Takriv sochim mincha. The chol behema should bring libations and meal offering with each animal. Mincha kalil, and the meal offering is burnt entirely. Hashem eniv la b'seichen, the oil is mixed into it. Va'yayim sefolim, and the wine goes into bowls. As we learn in the tractate of Saita. 5. And a quarter hin of a wine for a libation. You shall prepare for the burnt offering or for the sacrifice for each lamb. For each lamb. Alcohol ha'amor lamaila. Most of this is in reference to everything that we mentioned earlier in the earlier verses. You need the offering, so it has oil, a meal offering that has oil and has wine. Or you shall make a ram for the as an offering. The meal offering will be a fine flour, and this will be 2 tenths. Will be mixed together with a third of a hin of oil. Right, it's a different amount over here. Oil, or for the ram. A ram takes more fuel. Oil, who? The Rabbi says a palagas, to include the palagas, and they say ayel for libations of the ram. Okay. And a third of a hin and a wine of libation, you shall offer a pleasing fragrance to Hashem. Psh, amazing. So, what I'm taking out of here is what we learned in this last part. As I mentioned, I'll say it again, just so we have some clarity, is that, the Jews blew it. But God is saying, okay, but the future, you're going to go into the land, right? And you're going to have opportunity to do good and to bring offerings that will bring great contentment above. And that's
younger than 20 years old.
Huh?
He's talking to people who are younger. So.
Yes and no. He's talking to the entire Jewish people. So which means to say, David, you could look at yourself and only care about you, or you could look at yourself and see that you're part of the Jewish people, right? As a famous story as a father and a son were in, I don't know if it was in Bergen-Belsen or Auschwitz, I don't know which camp, or whatever, and it was Pesach time, and the father managed to, get something that they could somehow celebrate. I don't recall exactly. Maybe it was just water for 4 cups. Didn't have matzah, but whatever it was, and they said over the Haggadah as much as he could remember. And the son says to him, "Father, we're celebrating now Pesach. Are we going to be celebrating next year Pesach?" Right? In the death camp. So what does the father say? His father says, "I don't know if you and I will be celebrating next year. I don't know what our future is, but I do know that the Jewish people will be celebrating." So there's one way to look at things. Just me, myself, and I, and that's it. And I don't got it, right? Or you could see yourself as part of the Jewish people. So I suggest that over here, God is not speaking to just the ones that are under 20, but he's speaking to the entire Jews, because this is a message for, they were still alive. So it's a message to all of them, right? So it's a message to all of them that they will be able to bring a contentment. The Jewish people will bring a contentment. Now the Jewish people didn't bring a contentment, but they will bring contentment. So that's, I think, a message, that I'm a part of the Jewish people. Maybe I'm, like the father said, I don't know if what's going to be our future, but I know the future of the Jewish people. They're going to bring contentment to God Almighty. Okay.